Samurai is cool. I mean, I feel like Samurai has this weird issue where it's because there's always like the job. I guess Viper has this problem too, but I guess it depends on the fight also. Because like Samurai isn't necessarily like a bad job. I think it's good. It's really cool to know that Samurai exists in the game in general. You know what I mean? But I think the aesthetic for it to be like the pure DPS is also kind of like, because when Samurai was first out, it was really good at doing exactly that. Like when it was like, hey, we need like a melee job that's going to be as strong as a black mage to really like pull up to the scene and like do the work. Samurai did that back then, and I think that as the game has added more jobs over time, it's been more difficult for Samurai to do what it's supposed to be doing. But I don't think Samurai is like bad. The position it's in is like fine, but I think also if you played Samurai over the years since its conception in Stormblood, I feel like you'll either grow to like it more or like it like a little bit less. But again, it depends on like who you are. Like for me personally, I'm one of those people who like misses Kaiten, and I liked it when Madare wasn't a guaranteed critical hit. So there's that. And I also miss when Third Eye would give you a move called Satan, and then you can use it as like a counter. So when you got attacked, you would instead like attack the target back with like a counter hit. I thought that was really cool because it was like a way to spend resource outside of like just Shinten or Sene, right? Because that's how it is right now, which again, I'm not necessarily like, it's okay, but the way you use that gauge was like a little bit more interesting, I think. But the cool thing at least is that the jobs kit and functionality hasn't changed since then, so I like that Samurai has all like all this stuff now, which lets it kind of, it looks really cool as a result, I think, personally. So I'm cool with that, honestly. Like I love Tendo. That move is so sick. But I do think that even with how cool Tendo and Madare is in general, I think they tried really hard to like make sure that the jobs, for lack of a word, like identity to stay in check, which it's maintained, but it's holding on to like a thin line, I think. So I don't know, like if there was anything that I would like change for Samurai, I would honestly, a lot of the, I think things that people might want back is like, to undo some stuff that they've done over the years. Like, yeah, like bring back a, an attack where if you activate this and it activates a counter attack and you press that attack and it does like a little bit more potency, or, instead of like, I mean, I would like for them to bring back Kaiten, but I feel like people they got to rework that button if they try to bring it back. And I think the way that they could rework it in theory is if they only let it work for the next Yaijutsu versus it, because you can like use Kaiten and then like Gecko or Akasha, for example, so I think that's what I would want them to do. So like you can activate it and it'll last like, I don't know, 15-30 seconds, and then you pretty much just use it during a Madare or a Higginbata or a Tendo, but like, or not a Tendo, a Tekagonken or Tendo. I mean, that's fine too, honestly. But I wouldn't use it for a like Supamageshi. I would let it be only for like the Yaijutsu. So if you activate it and you activate the, the attack, whatever, I think you can actually do something with that. And I think even then too, like what I think would be really cool is if they do this, I don't know yet, but if Kaiten activates a Yaijutsu and it, like, how you have like Madare and then you have like Tendo Setsugeka, like if there was like a third one, and it was like a little bit more like something, and they can treat the Kaiten just like how they do with like Life Surge, where it just guarantees a crit, because like I said, Madare is a weird move now where, and again, I don't play Samurai enough to like know for sure, but it's a weird move where having the move always have like a critical hit thing, I feel like for people it's like a little weird, because before it didn't used to do that, but the move always used to hit like really hard, and I think it still does, but and it is like your most commonly like attacked like skill to use as well. But if you try to like activate it right now and see the difference here, let me see if we like do anything too though. Right, so like at least you can do that, and like it feels good, you know what I mean? Like the damage you get for doing that is actually like super nice. But also that Gecko almost did the same amount of damage with a dart as like a direct hit versus a crit, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's like weird, personally. But I think that Samurai is good at what it does, honestly. It's just that it's weird when other jobs are doing a lot better than Samurai when they also provide buffs, you know? Like, I think Dragoon, Monk, and Ninja are currently doing better than Samurai, if I'm correct. And that's just the need for Samurai to, you know, either get buffed or those jobs to get nerfed. Because, you know, utility is DPS in the kit for Samurai, basically. Now, I think respectably, if they ever wanted to break the laws of this game and let Samurai have some kind of a debuff thing, I'd be kind of cool with that. Not that it needs to, but I'm just saying, like, because I don't want the idea to be the same for like every single job to have like a buff or a debuff, even though they kind of should do that like a little bit. The whole like pure DPS thing is getting like a little weird for me for certain jobs, because like Viper and Samurai have to be number 1 and number 2 DPS because their job is to do damage, which I get. Black Mage is in the same mindset, right? And then there's Machinist, but we'll cover those jobs later. So, you know, I think oh, and I mean, down the road, right, like we're gonna end up getting upgrades for all these other attacks, like Yukikaze, Kasha, Gecko. They're gonna all get upgraded at some point, right? We're gonna see Mangetsu and Oka get like an upgrade. Shinten can get upgraded. Midoriya and Tendo are like the upgrades, technically speaking, right? Shoha is not necessarily an upgrade, but it does at least count, you know, work for what it's supposed to be doing in terms of like its functionality, which I think is cool. So there's that. I don't think there's a Tendo Higanbana, right? So they can upgrade Higanbana as well if they wanted to. And there's that as well in the mind. And then I guess what's next in line for the job is honestly up for grabs, because you already kind of get like the, you know, if you activate Iki Shoten, right, you get like the activation for Ogi and Zanshin, which I think is awesome. I love that a lot. You know, so then if all they can easily just add like a button for Iki Shoten, even though it activates Ogi, right? Like you can do that, but like they can easily just, you know what I mean? So I don't know. That's like the gist of it. What I will say though is like the one move I still never like understood is in the kit is Hagakure, because I understand that you can use it to convert Sen into Genki, like I get that, but like I don't think you've ever used that before ever, unless like you, I don't know, like prefer to have like the gauge for Sene or Girin, but like, you know, I don't know. So it is what it is. And meditate's cool. Like I think meditate is also a really cool button. I like that it's like the downtime button for Samurai, you know. And I wish that there was a way for it to build something more than just Kenki and Shoha. Although I guess like that's enough, but you know, it's the button really should, I don't know, do a little bit more than that. But I don't really have a clue. If it had like a oh my gosh, like a HP regen thing, that would actually be really cool. I know it's like small and simple and effective, but genuinely like it kind of works, you know. But you wouldn't use it obviously like in the middle of like uptime battle, obviously like a downtime thing. But that'd be really cool still, you know what I mean? So, but as far as I'm aware, you know, the way how they used to have this job function is it's changed over the times, you know what I mean? A lot of things are now like circle AoEs. Girin, however, is still like a line attack, right? And so is Shoha, which I think is cool. So I kind of hope that they go back and actually undo like a little bit of that, because everything being a circle is getting like a little redundant, personally speaking, when it used to be a cone. Like I feel that we have a warrior also, but like don't get me wrong, like I know that it's better, but I think that it's also nice to have things be unique and different too, you know. So that's those my changes at least. As far as it's in content, like it's fine in full uptime situations, right? So what dungeon trials raids, like it's fine. I think ultimates is kind of a questionable situation, because again, other jobs just can do quite a bit, and I don't think Samurai is like bad in ultimates. I think that like the cool thing about Samurai is that you have to actually work with a certain speed in order to benefit from like its kit in certain fights. I'll say that much, you know. I think in raids and trials it has the same notation too, because like a faster Samurai, granted the hits of Madara might do a little bit less, being able to get that a lot more often is actually pretty cool. So I like that, like with at least certain pieces of content in the game, like you can actually switch up with like what you play with samurai wise, and like playing a fast samurai is really cool, and also playing a slow samurai is also cool because you have the options. You know what I mean? Like when we covered Dragoon last time, like yeah, you can play speed Dragoon, but like nobody plays speed Dragoon, right? At least with samurai, you can play speed samurai, and actually in certain battles, it's actually beneficial. So yeah, job is cool. I think that it's actually got a lot of room for other things to come into play. It's kind of clear that they can do that actually because, you know, the only upgrades that they provided was the Midari Nintendo, and that's literally it. Um, which I think, and then technically too, but like, you know, like whatever. Nobody uses AOE's, unfortunately. So there's a lot of opportunities. They can do a lot of really really cool things, and honestly, this game is going to hopefully showcase that going into 8.0. I think that it has the capability to be really really cool still to this day. It's just like they got to figure out how to make sure that this job is always like number 2 DPS. You know what I mean? Like it should always be number 2 next to Black Mage. It should always be like Black Mage Samurai and then like Viper. But this job is currently like number 7 maybe. So that's me though. Samurai's cool though. Like I said, like if you're playing the job and you're loving it, yo, keep loving Samurai, man. Samurai is awesome. I love Samurai. Good job.